like I have completely messed up that reverse and reversed function. So can you please once again explain those two?
What? Reverse
The
and
reverse and
reversed.
reverse. Yes, those two functions are completely messed up in my mind. So can you please recapitulate those?
Okay, so can anyone, volunteer to do that? Reversed and reverse. So in string, we have looked at reversed. And where have you looked at reverse? Anyone? Saurotej, where have you looked at reverse? Where we have encountered reverse?
Well, I was writing like I missed a D, so I thought that it is a right statement while writing the program because it showed up in green. So I thought that yes,
Mm-hmm.
it must be doing something, no? And it did.
Yes,
I did what it just reversed the order of the list. I
right.
remember as much as I remember. So it was useful for me, but anyway. So I didn't
But
know that how it works and how it's different from the reverse, like how to actually
so
implement it. It happened by accident. I have lost the program also.
so you accidentally stumble upon reverse without the
Yes,
D, without.
yes, yes.
Okay, and what was it? What was the purpose of the reverse at your program? How? Why are you?
I was
How are
trying
you
to just
applying that?
reverse. I was just trying to reverse a string.
Ah,
Like
okay, okay, okay.
so, what happened that I was finding out the string was not getting reversed. But if I put two strings in the same list, then the order was reversed. Like zeroth index went to the one, and the one went to the zero.
Right, right,
That's what
right,
I mean.
right. So, can anyone volunteer to at least guess what reverse and reversed are doing? Anyone?
So
Anyone
is
can?
reverse a function? Reversed is a function.
Reversed is a function. Then what is reverse?
Means that in the last class, as I know that you defined that was a variable reverse, but I don't know
Yeah,
the reverse is.
exactly. I mean, Saurotej, are you sure reverse is a reserved word?
I don't remember. That's why I'm asking. Like I'm totally confused about these two
No, I
things.
think reverse is not a reserved word. I think there is
Okay.
no function as reverse. They are defined in Python, but I am really not sure. As you can understand that Python is quite a large, quite a vast programming language. There are so many aspects, so many new aspects written every day. So I can see I have checked. So reverse is it is saying that name reverse is not defined. So I think there is no defined function as reversed. Reverse. So in the last class, what we have written is I have declared a variable and I named it as reverse. And mind it, if there is a reserved word reverse, then I will not be able to declare a variable with the same
Yes.
name.
Yes. Yes.
So that might be something you can you please reformulate the problem that you have encountered and from which you have stumbled upon this reverse and something and reversed in two different ways, and then we can actually look at carefully about what it is actually doing.
Means I just wanted to make myself clear that how to write that reverse function because I forgot that. So means that what
Okay.
is the difference between if I try to reverse a string or if I
Right.
try to reverse a list? Then what is the difference? Like will the words inside the list will also be reversed or just the order will be reversed? Because
Okay, very good question. So the question is, there is a string and there is a list. Although list we haven't started yet, but you can consider a string as a character list. So as we have looked at the graphical diagram of string, where each hollow was containing one character. Uh, uh, this is, you can consider this as a list containing, list with individual characters. But as I have said, as we have seen that there is no character data type in Python, each of the characters will be considered as strings. So basically, you can say string is a string list. Basically, a string is a list of strings, and individual strings contain only one character. That is, the individual, the strings inside the string will be having a length of only 1. Is it clear? So for the time being, let's look at lists and string. Let's compare list and string in this way. So if today we have time, we will be starting with list, then we can actually see how this string and looks like, and how we should be how this list looks like, and how we should be declaring them, and how to manipulate them. We will be looking we will be writing programs to do that. So any further doubts or question?
Sir, reverse without D is working, I think.
Working? So is it, are you using Python 2.7?
No, I am not using nothing. I found it on a website.
So is there a, I think there is an import module that you need to write, right?
But there is no import module. They are using reverse to reverse a list, not a string actually.
Okay, reverse is an inbuilt. Okay, so reverse. So given a string, so reverse. Okay, got it. So reverse is an inbuilt function. So you need to call it using this string object. That is, let me share my screen so that we can write
reverse or something like that. I guess I wrote somewhere.
Yeah, so let's write it here. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
So let's write this. So say str1 equals to say a b c d e, and then any question? No. str1 dot reverse. So then no, okay, sorry, str object, no, you can see str object has no reverse object here, but in the documentation there is written, I think it is for Python 2. Let's try our code in Python 2 as well. So str1 equals to say bcd. You can see my screen, right? I'm still online, I hope.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Thanks a lot. str1 dot. Nope. Yes, this is Python 2 as well as in Python 2 it's still not a valid statement, but here okay, so it's a list. Okay, so that's why we haven't encountered that. So what we have looked at, so you can see this is the documentation. So in the documentation it is written that list is a reserved word, reserved inbuilt function, but it is an object from list. So try to look at here. In this example, I have declared a string. So using this string, I was trying to apply this. So that's why I was getting an error, because it's not actually reversing, because str1 is not actually a string function. This reverse is a list function. So just briefly declare a list, so which is maybe this. So this is just for the time being, let's focus this as a list. So I have declared, so anything written inside a third bracket in a square bracket is considered a list. We'll be looking at them carefully in say 20 minutes max. So I hope before that we will be clearing so many other doubts as well. So lst dot revrc, then I hope, then again it's none. So can anyone guess what's the problem? I haven't used reverse any time, before any time. So but in the problem it is saying that list name, so reverse method does not return any value. Oh, acha. Okay, return reverse does not return any value. That's why we are getting this none output. So reverse given an object from the list. So can anyone guess what should be, how to write this? Anyone?
Sir, right, list dot reverse bracket, and in the next line print
Which one? This
LS.
one?
So only write lst dot reverse
Oh,
bracket,
only write lst dot reverse. This.
and then print lst.
Okay. Then what is expected, that the invoking list is needed, I mean, is expected to be getting reversed. Exactly. So what this is doing, thanks for pointing this out. So LST reverse. So initially the LST list was 1, 2, 3. After calling this reverse function again, which is list object function, so it should be invoked with a list object. Mind it. As we have seen, I was trying to reverse, I was trying to invoke, I was trying to call the reverse function using a string object, and it was giving me an error. Because reverse is a reserved word, is a inbuilt function of list object, not string object. What it is doing is, it is reversing the invoking list. So this is the invoking list that was 1, 2, 3. And on calling the reverse function using this initial LST list, it is actually reversing the whole list. So you are getting, yes.
So it is just reversing the elements, right? Not the means. It's just reversing the order, not the elements of the list. So like if we put 1,
No.
2, 2, 1, and 3, 1, then it will print 3, 1, then 2, 1, then 1, 2.
I didn't get the question. Can you please repeat?
Yes, I am saying that the list contains 1, 2, and 3 only. So
Correct.
1 when reverse is 1. So if we put 1, 2, will it also reverse that 1, 2 to 2, 1? That's what-
Absolutely, absolutely. So you said
No,
that.
I'm thinking 1, 2 totally
Oh
as a
no,
single
no,
element.
not at all, not at all, not at all. So this is a single element. So in list, everything delimited by a comma is a single element. So 1, 2 will not be getting reversed to 2, 1. So if I say this 1, 2, 3, 4, the output will be 3, 4, 1, 2. I mean 34 and 12. The
Okay.
individual elements. So here these are the two elements. The first element is 12 and the second element is 34. And this individual, the position of individual elements are just getting reversed. Okay. Thanks
Like,
a
I
lot for
correctly
pointing
did
this
one.
out. Yeah, I mean,
While using
yeah.
split function, I remember now. Like yes, I used split. Like so it
Okay.
converted into a list.
Okay. So in the last class, we have looked at, I have sent you this IPython notebook. So have you looked at these programs? Have you manipulated with these functions? So we have looked at this program of to extract the roll numbers. We have written the code in two ways. Entirely, this is the better way. Someone among you suggested that, and this is something that again you suggested, and we are kind of struggling with using this, and this reversed here as well. So have you played with this different start, end, and step? You should be doing. So here again, start will be the so in the in the string class we have looked at that the -1 is the last index, -2 is the second last. So -1 means we are starting from the last index, and -8 means from -1 to -8, from the topmost rightmost to 7 places in the left, and the steps will be -1. So it will be -1, then -1, that is -1, -1, -2, then -2, -1, that is -3, and something like that. And if if we use this as a positive value, then it's actually -1 then 0, which doesn't make any sense. So we can try something like, we can start from -8, and we can we can consider a step of 1 here. So that's basically what that should not be, that also can be done, but in this case it should be -1. So I requested you to play with this a little bit at your end, like how to manipulate how to use this slice operator to extract substrings from a large string. So from there, and there we have encountered this reversed. We have used this reversed. This reverse function, mind it, this is an inbuilt function, and it is an inbuilt function developed for, I mean, we can use this for any sequence data types. But this reverse function is an object of a list data type. Can you now differentiate between reversed and reverse? Is it clear now?
Yes, sir.
So I hope, Oyon, is it clear now? I mean, you suggested, I mean, you looked up the reverse function, so thanks to you. So yeah,
Yes, sir.
basically reverse function, I haven't used it. I mean, mostly the good part, I mean, list reverse, yes, we can do that, but yes, there are other ways of doing that as well, other than using this inbuilt functions. Of course, it's better. I mean, as Saurotej encountered this problem, we kind of looked at this problem. Like we can, I mean, we might be sometimes might miss this D. So in that case, it is actually, okay. So, so in that case, we should be learning this reverse function as well. So again, reverse is a function. Basically, reverse is a list function. So it should be invoked by a list object. Whereas this reversed is a reserved word, as well as it's an inbuilt function that can be applied on any sequence object. Is the difference clear now? I hope so. Okay, so any further query, question? Any doubt? Anyone? So, so have you written the codes that we left in the last class? We left for you to as an exercise. So this is a very easy program. So we just need to use that @ character as a split operator. So given this, so for this example, say we have this str1. So what the statement is, given a bunch of email IDs, extract domain names. So in this case, all the domain names are same, but let's reduce this to say only 2, and let's change it to say gmail.com. And now what we need to do is for say email in str1.split. So as we have seen, now this email is considering individual emails one by one. So now what we need to do is directly we can print the domain names by using this email dot split, then in bracket this @ character, and then what? It will print what? Can anyone guess?
It will just print either call.ac.in and
No.
gmail.
No.
So it will print the list.
This will print two lists.
Oh yes, sorry. Yeah, you haven't given yes.
The first list will contain this. This will be the first element, and this will and this will be the second element. Mind it, alpha will be @ will be removed, and in the second case, this will be the first element. This will be the second element, gmail.com, and this @ again will be removed. So if we want to print only the domain names, so what we should do? We should be doing this. Am I correct? Everyone with me? Please response, man.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you can see, so we are getting this individual domain names from the whole email IDs like this, and yeah, we have already seen how to extract the corresponding roll number. The roll number from the whole email ID. Okay, these three are very good programs. Write a program that takes a string and encode it using the number of times a symbol is appearing followed by the symbol. So basically there are 4 A's, that's why the output is 4A, then 3B, then 2C, then 1D, then 3A. Something like, depending on the input, the output will be changed. So this is kind of we can use to encode genome sequence using the gene sequence using this pattern, using this kind of encoding. So as you know, the gene sequence is a character consisting of, I think, mainly 4 characters, 4 alphabets: A, G, I think T and U and T. So using this kind of, so it's a huge gene sequence. So everyone's gene sequence is different. So we can encode a gene sequence using this kind of an encoding algorithm. So I hope it's easy to write, right? Am I right, or am I kind of expecting more from you? Anyone?
Sir, I have written, but there was one problem.
What?
Like so I am unable to get the exact output that you got. Basically,
Why?
so yeah, basically what I am getting is like 4A, then 3A, then 2A, then like
The 4A, then 3B.
no, yeah, basically no, the program that I have written is not, it's like I am unable to increase the I, like after
Okay,
first times.
quickly write this code. Say encode say string. So basically let's declare the first string as this. Let's try to write the code quickly. Sorry, not str1. So let's write it as a say message. Now, so what we need to do is we need to encode the message. So let's declare an encode message a variable and initialize it with an empty string. So this is an empty string. So now some other things are needed to be done. So okay, first let's try to extract individual characters. So for each ch, say, so no, we need to, so let's for I in range say 1 to length of message, and what we need to do is we need to consider the first character as the last encountered character. So the last encountered character is the message at 0th index, right? So this is considering the first index. So I have put this first encountered character in a new variable called last chr, that is last character that I have encountered. And then I have, say, let's write it C as 1. So basically the character in last char has encountered one time, only once. So now we need to, so we have already explored, we have already traversed the first character. Then we should be starting from the second character up to the last character. That's why I have started from 1, as we have already considered character at 0. Now what we need to do is we need to check if the present character, that is the present encountering character, that is MSG1, is actually same as the last character, last encountered character or not. So if last char equals to the MSGI, that means we have already we are encountering another character that we have encountered in the last. So what we need to do, we need to increment the count by 1, and else Else means we are encountering a new character. So else we need to print, we need to kind of include, we need to include the character that we have already seen here in the last character inside this encode message variable. So encode underscore message plus equals to, what we need to do is, the pattern is first the count, then the character. So we need to put C plus this last char. Now look at this statement. Can you see some errors, some semantic errors, not semantic, some syntax error here? It's not valid. Can you say why? Anyone?
C is an integer.
Correct. Very good. C is an integer. Exactly. And this is a string. So we should not, I mean, if both, I mean, given this plus operator, if both the operands are string, this will be considered as a concatenation operator. If both are integers or both are float, this plus will be considered as an addition operator. But if one is integer and another is string, it will result you as an error. So what we need to do is we need to convert this. So what we need to do? Anyone guess? So at the end of the day, we need to print for this 4a. We need to print this 4a. This thing. A. We need to print 4a. So what should be done? We need to convert
C
something
into
to, very good.
C
We
into
need to,
string.
correct. So we need to convert C into a string. So as we have seen while taking inputs from the user, that there is a function called int, that in bracket int, if we, I mean int in bracket, if we consider giving a string input, then it will convert the, basically typecast the string into an integer. So there is a similar function called str that will convert the integer to a string, not actually integer. I mean, if we give an say a floating point as input as well, it will be giving us the corresponding string. So now, so this else, again coming back to the program, this else means we encountered a character that is not in the last character. So we need to change the last encountered character variable to this msgi, and we need to reinitialize the count to 1. Is it clear? This for loop. Again repeating. So in the beginning, I have considered, I have kind of marked the first character as explored. So I have put the first character in the last encountered character a variable. So I declared this last encountered character variable here and named it as last char, and the count of the number of times the last encountered variable is encountered is 1, because we have already seen it one time, only once. So from the second occurrence up to the last occurrence of this message of the individual characters, I have written a range function that is considering from first 1 to the length of the message, that is length minus 1, that is up to this a, and I am checking whether the last encountered character is actually the present encountered character or not. If it is the same, then I am incrementing the count, and if it is not the same, then I am understanding that I have encountered a new character, that is maybe I have encountered B. That means in this encoded message, so what we need to do is we need to first, I mean, based on the output that is expected from us, we need to use this C variable, the value at C variable. We need to consider that as a string, and then we need to concat the corresponding character with that, and then the new encountered character, that is B, we need to initialize that to the last encountered character, because this is the present one that we have encountered, and we need to set the corresponding count to 1. And finally, we need to print the encode message. So if we execute, you can see. So let's write a little bit carefully. MSG encoded into, so you can see 4A, 3B, 2C, D, 1D, and 3A, 4A, 3B, 2C, 1D. Oh, okay. So one thing is we have left with is the last character. So can anyone guess why this 3A is not seen here? Anyone? Anyone? I mean, it's a pretty easy thing to look at. Pretty easy thing to actually, to understand why it's not there. It's pretty easy. Can you please dry run? Can you please, in your mind, if you start on dry running the code. So basically what we have done up to this D, so we have encountered A, right? So that's why when this A is encountered, this encode message is incremented, is concatenated with the corresponding count of the previous character, that is D. That was 1. And the last encountered character was D. So basically this, at the end, we have encountered 1D. But up to, after that, we have encountered 3 new characters, right? And each of them are considered in this last char, and the corresponding C has been incremented. So what should be done for this last case? So if I put, say, an triple E, you can see the output will be 3A, but this 3E will be again removed, because the last characters, the last encountered characters in the string, in the actual message is never considered here, never considered in this loop, actually never concatenated with the encoded message. So what should be done? Anyone?
So we can add a random character at the end of the inputted message.
Yeah, that can be done. So we can, initially we can change the message to, one second. So we can do message equals to message plus, say, $. So if we do that, we will be getting that. Anyone else? Anything? Any new? Yes, someone was saying something.
Sir, if we can add a if condition where it will check if I equal to length of the message, then it will encode message plus equal to that line after else. That will be added again.
Here.
In the for, in the for loop, yes.
Here or where? Where should I write this if? Here or here?
First.
So you were suggesting,
we can write.
Oyon was suggesting that at the end, if I see that we have already explored up to the last character, then we should be doing something. Then where to check this condition, that whether we are already encountering the.
At first we'll do.
Okay, at first we can do. So if what?
If I equal to len msg minus 1.
If msg minus 1, then
encode msg plus equal to that line is strc plus last chr.
This one. Is it clear to everyone? Why are we using this? And is it correct? If it is clear to everyone, is it correct? Is there anyone who can see some basic problem?
Sir, I think it can go with a elif actually. Elif statement will be better actually. Otherwise, it won't do. It will go to the else statement otherwise.
Not actually. So in the last case, so consider this. So in the last case, when we are actually considering this E, this message, this will be true, right? This will be true as the value of I is here, and the len message of I is here. So encoded message will be encountered this, but this statement is not encountered yet. So if we execute this, can you guess what will be the output? If I execute this, what will be the output? It's pretty easy. So what I am doing is, at the last character, at the last index, I am checking whether it is the last index or not. If it is the last index, I am kind of adding the entire string, the content, the count, as well as the last string into the encoded message. So can you guess what will be the output of this? Will we be getting this desired output? It's easy to see. So my hint to you is, for the last E, we are not encountering this. We are not encountering this. We are encountering this before this. So here, for this E, the count is what? Otto, why? No, 2. Because we have already encountered up to this. Now we are considering this. So up to this, the count has been 2. Correct. So for the last character, for this last E, this statement is not, before executing this statement and incrementing the count, we are kind of changing the encoded message. So the output will be 3A and 2E. Isn't it clear? 3A and 2E, as you can see. So what we need to do is, we need to take it here from here, and we need to paste it here. We need to have it here. So after considering this, so what I am doing in this loop, in this if else statement, I am considering individual characters, and this if statement is checking whether I have already encountered the last character or not. If I have encountered the last character, then I am the problem was without this, the problem was the last character count was not getting printed. As you can see, the last character count was not getting encoded in the encoded message. So for that, this is checking whether I am traversing the last character or not. If I am if I am at the last character point, then this statement will be true. Then whatever is in the last character variable and whatever that count is, I am adding these two into the encoded message. If I execute this, you can see the desired output, 3A and then 3E. Is it clear? Is it clear now? This is a very useful program, very useful program. I intentionally left these things in the initial program because, without this, again, there will be so many cases for which will be. Yes, question. Someone? Soikot? Nope. Am I audible?
Without the if, we can do outside loop.
This if can also be put outside the loop. Correct.
Yes, we can concatenate
Exactly.
with the.
This if is also can be considered outside the loop, or even better than that, if I put this outside the loop, we don't even need this if statement.
Yes, we can concat that.
Exactly. So we can concat the last character. So as you can see, there are so many ways of writing the same character, same program. So here in this program, what I am doing is, I am so in this for loop, we are encountering up to the last, up to this. But this last character is already containing this E, and this count is already containing some non-zero values. That is some expected value, some encoded value. So after this for loop, we can straightforward concatenate the corresponding last character and the corresponding string, the count as well as the last encountered character with the encoded message. So can someone suggest? So we have seen two versions of the same code. Sorry, one is this, and another is this. So this is one version and this is another version. Can you suggest which one is better? Whether this one or this one? Whether the one with the if statement inside the for loop or with the statement of concatenation outside the loop? Which
Outside
one is
the loop.
better?
Outside the
Outside the loop. Anyone else? Anyone else? It's easy question.
Yeah, it should be outside the loop.
Exactly. Why?
Because if it's inside the loop, then again the time
Sir,
will
if it
be
is
increasing
inside the loop,
because you
it
are
will be checked every
evaluating
time
one loop.
in every
Correct.
iteration.
So for every iteration, the value of I will be checked whether we are already encountering or whether we are already exploring the last character or not. So this statement will be executed for all the values. So consider an actual gene sequence. A gene sequence is containing, I think, 258 characters. I don't know the exact number, but it's more than, 250 plus, I think 258. So for that, this statement will be, this condition checking will be done 258 times. Whereas this will be true only once for the last character. So what we can do is, instead of using this, we can use get the last count as well as the last character, and we can use that outside this for loop. As we can see, if I execute this, we will be getting the same output. This is a very useful program for your exams as well. This is kind of a hint. So please practice this kind of program. So again, this is another kind of a string program. So this is the original message, a quick brown fox. So basically, I need to encode this message. So A is shifted, A is converted to F, Q is to V. So basically 5 places it is shifted. So A, B, C, D, F, B, C, D, E, F. So basically the character, the brief hint about this is, so as we have seen in the last class, the corresponding Unicode value of small a is how much? It's 97. So basically we need to add 5 to the existing character with the Unicode value of the existing character. So basically 97 plus 5 is 102. That is the Unicode value of F. Q will be again, I don't remember the name, exact Unicode value. So that should be, plus 5 it will be V and something like that. Remember one thing. So for example, consider this Z. Z is the terminating one. So let's open that one so that you can see. String. Yes, so as you can see, 97 plus 5, F, 102. Then if it is Z, then plus 5 means 122 plus 5 means 127. But we are considering this as a round one. So after 122, it is again 97. So after Z, it is again A. So Z will be converted to E. So basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So as you can see in the statement, Z has been transferred to E. Y has been transformed to Z has been transformed to E and Y has been transformed to D, D to I and O to G and so on. So this is the place where this Unicode thing will also come handy to solve the problem in a way. Again, there are plenty other ways of writing the same program differently. But please, for the exam, these are pretty much. You should practice these programs at your end. This is a similar program. It is not only considering the character as small case characters. So here all the characters in the original message were in small case characters. But here in this program, it is, say, it can be an alphabet in uppercase or lowercase, or it can be a number. So for a number, again, you can see 48 to 57 are the corresponding Unicode values. So if the number is, say, 8, so 8 plus 3 is, so basically 1, 2, 3, 8 plus 5 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So basically we need to consider this as the 3 character as the encoded version of 8. So basically 9 plus 5 will be basically this 4. You got the problem, right? So
we need to do the one character back in this.
Oh, so yes, in this character, whether it is right or left, whether it is 1 character or 5 character, it's up to the input. So here in this problem, it was left shift. So basically, if it's, say, 0, then it will be 9. If it is, say, 97, that is A, it should be Z. Yes, the problem was, it should be one place in the left. We should shift the whole thing 1 place left. So if this program, this statement is given as the original message, then it should be Z. This A should be transformed into Z based on this statement, based on this problem statement. So these two programs are kind of interrelated, and they are pretty easy. In this program, it is 5 place shifting is happening in the right side, and in this program, it is happening in the left side. So the difference between these two programs, the right shift and left shift, are basically, you can see, we can, after adding, say, from Z to 5, we are getting something, say, 127, from which it's kind of easy to come back to A. But if you do a left shift, it is a little bit hard. Again, it's up to you to think a little bit how to do that. Okay, so any further question, any further query? We are already 3 o'clock. Sorry. Anyone?